So here we are on the third day of January, and there's no place on earth the New York Jets would rather be than on the banks of Lake Erie here at chilly old Cleveland Stadium, playing the Browns in the AFC semifinal.
In Cleveland, the New York Jets struck a portrait of determination. They used bold, imaginative strokes to create a 20-10 lead over the favored Browns.
Pitch out to McNeil, running right. Uh-oh, it's going to be a flea flicker, throwing back to Ryan. Ryan throwing long over the middle for Walker, and Walker's got a touchdown! Touchdown, Wesley Walker!
What a great play.
O'Brien handing to McNeil. McNeil finds some room. McNeil still on his feet to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown! Raven McNeil, 25 yards! The Jets are going to win this football game! The Jets are going to the AFC Championship!
But with less than 4 minutes remaining, the Jets' road to the AFC title game turned into a dead-end street. Cleveland evened matters at 20 apiece. Then, in double overtime, the Browns secured a 23-20 victory. Despite this bitter defeat, the Jets had again proved that they belonged in the playoffs. But this loss was so hard to take because during an exciting season, the Jets had worked so hard to become one of the NFL's most competitive teams. With their unwavering work ethic and ability to overcome adversity, the Jets left a distinctive imprint on the 1986 season. At Buffalo, their first steps toward the playoffs were paced by the swift strides of wide receivers Wesley Walker and Al Toon, number 88. In the final period, a 71-yard catch and run by number 85, Walker, enabled the Jets to erase a 3-point deficit. This 28-24 season-opening victory was followed by a loss to New England. But in Week 3 against Miami, Walker's 194 receiving yards earned him center stage in a breathtaking thrill show. Dan Marino's 6 scoring throws were countered by 4 touchdown passes and 479 aerial yards from Ken O'Brien. Rugged receiver Kurt Sohn, number 87, and tight end Rocky Cleaver, number 89, helped set up deep passes to Walker. This exciting seesaw battle climaxed with not one, but 2 miracle finishes.
O'Brien back to throw. O'Brien being rushed. O'Brien throwing over the middle. Wesley Walker, touchdown! Touchdown! There is no time remaining!
When I made the catch, I was in a dream world. I didn't realize what had happened, and I still don't.
I dropped back and waited and just waited for Wesley to get anywhere near the end zone, and threw it about as hard as I could, and the next thing I knew, Wesley was flying through the air, made a great catch, and rolled in the end zone. As soon as we won the coin toss, I knew we were going to score. Everything was going our way at that point.
O'Brien's back to throw. O'Brien throwing long down the sideline for Walker, and he got it! Touchdown! Touchdown! Wesley Walker with his 4th touchdown reception. The Jets are going berserk. They're bombing Wesley Walker in the end zone, and the Jets win it 51-45.
2 weeks later, O'Brien worked another last-minute miracle with the Jets trailing Buffalo 13-7.
O'Brien back to throw. O'Brien throwing long for Mickey Schuller. He's open. Touchdown!
O'Brien is one of the NFL's most talented passers, and offensive coordinator Rich Kotite feels that the quarterback's talent is a product of his tenacity.
He is unbelievable. He's like a bulldog. As the game gets on and he gets that look in his eye, you know that he means business, and somehow, some way, he's going to get the job done.
O'Brien finished the year with the AFC's best completion percentage despite a late-season slump, and his 25 touchdown passes represented the conference's second highest total. His fiery competitive streak is fueled by burning ambition.
My dad sat me down and asked me what I wanted to do after I got out of college, and I said play football, and he kind of laughed and shook his head, and he said, you know, he must be a lost cause, but he's happy now, and hopefully I'll just keep playing right on until I'm about 80.
The Jets built a 10-1 record with fine pass protection. Tackle Reggie McElroy, number 68, provided effective blocking despite injuries. Number 60, guard Dan Alexander's 151-game playing streak is the second longest in team history. Center Joe Fields, number 65, Ted Banker, Guy Bingham, Gordon King, and tackle Jim Sweeney, number 53, helped the line excel at ball control, especially during a Week 6 game at New England, where number 34 Johnny Hector set team records with 40 carries and 3 rushing touchdowns in a 31-24 victory. The versatile Hector filled the role of feature back while Freeman McNeil was on injured reserve, and he became the first man in Jet history to gain 100 yards, both rushing and receiving, in a single game. Hector scored 7 of his team-high 8 running touchdowns during the season's first 10 weeks, and the same period saw the Jets keep every opposing rusher they faced out of the end zone. Kyle Clifton, number 59, Lance Mel, and Bob Crable, number 50, spearheaded an aggressive unit that was also keyed by lineman Marty Lyons, Joe Klecko, Barry Bennett, Tom Baldwin, and Mark Gastineau. The Jets finished the season with the AFC's second-ranked rushing defense. And in Week 7, total defensive effort paced a 22-10 Monday night win over Denver. While John Elway was thwarted at every turn, Pat Ryan expertly directed the offense. And when bruised ribs forced him out, Ken O'Brien took over, despite a sore knee that had sidelined him for 6 quarters.
Ken O'Brien was not expected to play tonight. He is in the lineup now. O'Brien back to throw. Throwing a timing pattern for Walker in the end zone. Touchdown! That's why he's in the football game.
This contest had started with the Jets and Denver battling for the conference lead. When it ended, the Jets had extended their winning streak to 5 games and lifted themselves to a divisional best 6-1 mark. Like a marathon race, a football season is a test of endurance, and few teams make it to the finish line intact. This grueling challenge demands strong bodies and sound minds. It also requires heart and soul. Nose tackle Joe Klecko, linebacker Lance Mel, end Marty Lyons, and end Mark Gastineau are the heart and soul of the Jets defense. Despite nagging injuries, number 99 Gastineau was still a player that opponents neglected at their own peril. Gastineau's playing time was limited, but Lyons, number 93, picked up the slack and put down ball carriers. Number 56, Mel, led the Jets in tackles during the season's first half. And Klecko, number 73, was enjoying one of the finest campaigns of any NFL nose tackle. While no team can afford to lose even one player of this caliber, the Jets lost all 4. Proven Pro Bowl performers Mel, Klecko, and Gastineau spent time on injured reserve, as did potential Pro Bowler Lyons. But Joe Walton refused to crumble in the wake of these injuries.
With our injuries, I think our guys have rallied around each other, and I think our backup people have come through pretty nicely, and we've been able to hang in there.
In Seattle, the Jets began the second half of the season without Mel and Klecko, but the AFC's second-best rushing team was held to a scant 51 yards on the ground. In a 38-7 romp over the Seahawks, Ken O'Brien threw 4 touchdown passes. Al Toon contributed nearly 200 yards in receptions and 2 scores.
O'Brien being rushed. O'Brien throwing long down the sideline for Toon in the end zone. Touchdown, Al Toon with a remarkable catch.
Al Toon is a remarkable player, and in only his second NFL season, he was voted a Pro Bowl starter. The long arms that make him a productive possession receiver and the long legs that make him a dangerous deep threat enabled this talented young pass catcher to approach superstar status.
Once he catches the ball, he's just like poetry in motion. He shakes people off, and he becomes as strong as a bull and just makes things happen.
Toon set a club single-season record with 85 receptions, the highest total for an AFC wide receiver in 1986. And he and Wesley Walker both totaled more than 1,000 yards in receptions. With 12 touchdowns, the 31-year-old Walker proved that at an age when most wide receivers run out of gas, he is still in high gear.
As you get older, you get more experience, you become wiser, and you have to take care of yourself during the offseason.
He's certainly not a declining player. He's a player that's still very effective and still strikes the fear of God into defenses.
Wide receivers Walker and Toon continued a great legacy established by the brilliant Don Maynard, who became the second Jet player to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The lanky Texan with the loping stride was an original member of the New York Titans. Then he helped usher in a golden era for the Jets as Joe Namath's favorite deep threat.
When Joe came up, I just told him, I said, I think we can be a real good team. I said, I'll help make you a better quarterback, and you make me a real good receiver.
Namath and Maynard combined on some of the most exciting pass plays in pro football history. This great combination is united again, and their deeds celebrated forever in the Hall of Fame. Don Maynard holds a hallowed place in the Jets record book, a book that welcomed 3 new standard bearers in 1986. Number 5, Pat Leahy established a record by kicking 22 straight field goals, the second longest string in NFL history. Another mark of consistency was produced by tight end Mickey Schuler, number 82, who owns a streak of 53 consecutive games with at least 1 pass reception. Schuler's reliability earned him a Pro Bowl berth in 1986. Number 24, Freeman McNeil, took his place as the Jets' all-time leading rusher in his 6th pro season. Despite missing 4 games with a dislocated elbow, McNeil's 856 yards placed him among the AFC's top 5 ball carriers. This high-stepping runner has heart-stopping moves. He scored 5 of his 6 touchdowns in the season's second half and added 3 more in the playoffs. During their existence, the New York Jets have featured such great running backs as Snell, Boozer, and Riggins. Now, Freeman McNeil stands above them all as the most prolific runner in team history. In 1986, the Meadowlands provided the stage for the most outrageous fashion show west of Soho. Fans sported their favorite styles and paid tribute to their favorite Jets, from Marty Lyons to Harry Hamilton.
Marty, 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 Marty.
We're just wild about Harry. Harry, yes, he's okay. Yes, we're just wild about Harry in New York, Jersey, PA.
Not every Jet was celebrated in song, but all of them embodied a work ethic that is worthy of recognition. This was particularly true on special teams, where an NFL record for most punts in a career was established by Dave Jennings, number 13. The special teams unit also featured the tough, steady play of unselfish performers like Matt Munger, Marion Barber, and Kurt Sohn. Number 48, Bobby Humphrey, was another special team standout. And at Cincinnati, he raced 96 yards for a score. Against Pittsburgh, JoJo Townsell, number 83, returned a kickoff 93 yards for the first touchdown of his Jets career. While the return teams aimed for the runaway, defensive coordinator Bud Carson's men set their sights on the takeaway.
Been good to him. Sonic 66 double bird dog. There's no problem with that, right? Okay, let's go, Jet. Get him out. Let's go, man.
The Jets led the AFC in takeaways after the first 11 weeks of the season, and their 18 fumble recoveries represented the conference's third highest total for 1986. Playing a prominent role on this theft-minded defense was a secondary that included team interception leader Jerry Holmes, number 47, Russell Carter, number 27, and Lester Lyles, number 26. The Jets forced 6 turnovers in a 31-16 win over the Colts in Week 11. Number 39, Harry Hamilton, and Johnny Lynn, number 29, produced interceptions. 3 Wesley Walker touchdowns also contributed to a team record 9th victory in a row. But after this game, the Jets' quest for the AFC East title receded into the shadows. The timing mechanism for an explosive offense was suddenly ticking out of sync. And the Jets' bombs were rudely defused. The continuing onslaught of defensive injuries also took its toll. An ill wind mysteriously blew in a cold spell that clung to the Jets. During a 5-game losing streak, the Jets were outscored 183-61, and they ultimately lost their hold on the division lead. A powerful team had mysteriously become a puzzling team, but the Jets would put all the pieces back together in the AFC wildcard game at the Meadowlands. Trailing 6-0 early in the first quarter, Joe Walton elected to roll the dice.
Joe Walton playing the role of the riverboat gambler with Pat Ryan, the quarterback. Walker flanked to the right, Tune to the left, zone in motion. Pat Ryan on a quarterback sneak's got a first down.
Pat Ryan, starting in place of Ken O'Brien, shifted the game's momentum with his gritty execution of Walton's bold call.
Ryan breaks a tackle and is down inside the 10. How about that for a call? First and goal for the Jets. Come on, give him a hole. Give him a crack.
A pair of Freeman McNeil scores and a revitalized defense helped Ryan engineer a 21-6 halftime lead.
Ryan back to throw. Ryan with time. Throwing touchdown to Al Tune. Come on, defense! Throwing out of the back. Oh, it's intercepted! It's intercepted by Kevin McArthur, and he's going to run it in for a touchdown! First play, second half. He was untouched by human hands.
The Jets maintained a winning tempo throughout the second half and orchestrated a 35-15 victory.
Ryan throwing for Griggs is wide open. Touchdown, New York! Cole and the Dogs extinguish the fire. We're on our way to Cleveland.
The Jets had removed all doubt as to their playoff qualifications by reasserting the work ethic so central to their competitive identity. And this triumph proved that maximum effort is what the New York Jets are all about.